All right, so today we're going to explore some pretty wild stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We're diving deep into the Book of the Black Serpent.
Okay.
Now, have you ever heard of this one?
I haven't.
It's pretty obscure.
Really?
It started out as like an essay just for initiates of a very specific Golden Dawn temple way back in 1900.
I see.
But
That's interesting.
it was later adapted and republished in various grimoires.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of made its way around.
Right.
And what's so interesting about it is it focuses on the Qliphoth.
The Qliphoth.
Yeah, the Qliphoth, which is like, it's basically the shadow side of the Jewish mystical tradition.
Oh, wow. So we're talking like the underbelly of Kabbalah.
Exactly.
The stuff most people don't even know about.
Right, the hidden forces, yeah.
Fascinating.
And it's not just theory, right?
Oh, no.
This book gets into some seriously intense stuff.
Huh.
We're talking instructions on how to summon both angels and demons.
Wolf?
Yeah. Like full-on temple setup, you know, the tools, the rituals, the whole hierarchy of spirits, all that.
So it's a practical guide as well as a theoretical one?
Yeah, it's a grimoire, right? Like I
Right.
said.
Yeah.
And it's important, I think, to say right up front that,
Yeah.
you know, we're approaching this purely for the sake of understanding.
Absolutely.
Right? This is potent, powerful knowledge, and we're going to treat it with the utmost respect.
It deserves respect for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But that doesn't mean it's not totally captivating.
Oh, of course not.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Specific incense blends for each planet.
Oh, wow.
Detailed descriptions of these entities. I mean, like it's right out of some dark fantasy novel.
Yeah, the imagery alone
Yeah, the imagery is crazy.
must be amazing.
Yeah, so
So where do we start
yeah, where do we start?
with this book?
Well, one of the first things that it emphasizes is the importance of mental preparation.
Right.
Like, it's not just about following steps, you know, it's about cultivating the right mindset before you even think about engaging with any of this.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and there's this really interesting line in there.
Mm.
It says, it is not needful to remain pure or chaste in this work,
What?
for it is the end of this work that all should be satisfied and without want.
So what does that even mean?
Yeah, I know, right?
Is it saying purity doesn't matter in this system?
I mean, it's open to interpretation, but
Yeah.
maybe it's suggesting that, like, the goal is to achieve a state of wholeness or fulfillment
Right.
where you're not held back by, like, conventional ideas about what purity is.
Oh, so it's more about inner alignment
Maybe.
than outward conformity.
I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's,
So it's setting the stage for
yeah.
a very different kind of spiritual path.
Right, and that inner alignment is crucial, right?
Absolutely.
Because the book then goes into some seriously specific instructions
Yeah.
for setting up your temple and gathering the tools for the work.
Okay, this is where it gets hands-on.
Right. This is not
Yeah.
just light a few candles and hope for the best.
No.
This is like a 15-foot square temple.
Whoa.
Yeah, with a window.
Oh, window. Okay.
And then a 9-foot magic circle inside
Oh, wow.
with the names of God inscribed around it.
Okay.
And then inside of that, a 9-foot triangle.
Another one.
Yeah, with angelic names at each angle.
This is very precise.
Yeah, it's incredibly specific.
Every detail matters.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, wow.
they really want to make sure you get it right.
I guess so.
And each element has a purpose, right?
Of course.
Like they even go into the specific tools you need.
So what kind of tools?
All right, so you need like a new blank book
Okay.
just for recording your magical actions, right?
Like a magical diary.
Kind of, yeah.
Interesting.
Then you need a wand made of rosewood or cedar.
Specific wood.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's got to be half the length of your arm.
Hmm.
Then a sharp knife.
A knife.
Yeah, with special inscriptions on the blade and the handle.
Oh, wow.
And then you got to have a robe, like a linen robe,
Okay.
maybe with a hood.
So we're really setting the scene here.
Yeah.
It's like a whole costume.
Right, and then...
What about incense?
Oh, yeah, the incense, right?
Yeah.
Super important.
Okay.
Well, you need specific ones for each planet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like myrrh for Saturn, saffron for Jupiter,
Wow.
sulfur for Mars. It's a whole thing.
So it's like a sensory experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Designed to create the right atmosphere.
Exactly. And then on top of that, you also have an aspersion bowl, right? Filled with blessed water.
Okay.
And this is for like consecrating the space and the tools.
So it's about purity and intentionality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So yeah, it's
This is serious business.
it's serious business.
Yeah.
But let's get to the heart of it.
Okay.
The Qliphoth themselves.
Right.
Can you tell us a bit more about them?
Sure.
Like, what are they, really?
Okay, so imagine them as like shells or husks.
Of divine emanations. They
Interesting.
represent like the shadow side of creation, the distorted reflections of the divine light.
Okay, so I'm picturing like
Yeah.
the flip side of the Kabbalistic tree of life,
Exactly.
where each sephira,
Right.
or like emanation of God, has a cliffa.
Like a shadow counterpart.
Yeah, exactly.
Fascinating.
So if the sephiroth are like these emanations of light,
Yeah.
the klipoth are like
The residue.
the
The distortions.
Yeah,
The parts of creation that have become separated from their source.
got it. And they have a hierarchy, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like the angels.
Just like the angelic realm.
So each klipoth has
Yes.
rulers and orders of subservient demons.
Exactly. It's like a demonic family tree
Right.
with names like
Yeah.
Thedekiel
Mm.
and Abraxiel,
Wow.
branching out from their ruler, Themiel.
Themiel.
Yeah.
Okay, and the book gets into the relationship between these like earthly klipoths
Yes.
and the transcendent archdemons, right? And it seems like it's saying that these forces are inherently evil and need to be overcome by like invoking the divine.
That's a key point.
Yeah.
It emphasizes that these are potent forces.
Right.
They can be very dangerous.
Right.
And the only way to really counter them is through aligning with the divine.
Okay, but then there's also this other element
What's that?
where it suggests that fear itself sustains these powers.
That's fascinating
Right.
because it suggests a way to combat them,
Yeah.
not through force or magic,
Right.
but through cultivating courage.
And inner strength.
Exactly.
Like fear is giving these entities permission to act.
Like food, right?
Yeah, like fuel.
It gives them power over us.
And on that note, it's also important to remember what it says about the source of their power.
Where does it say that comes from?
It's not God's existence that empowers them.
Right.
It's the denial of God.
So it's not a battle between good and evil
Right.
as separate forces,
Yeah.
but a struggle within creation itself.
You-
It's about choosing whether to embrace the divine or turn away from it.
I like that.
Yeah.
So to understand them further, right,
Yeah.
we need to look at how the book organizes the klipoth.
Okay, how's it structured?
Right. It's not just random demons.
No.
There's a structure to it.
Right.
So how does it break down?
Well, each clipoth is associated with a specific planet.
Okay, hold on. Demons and planets.
Yeah.
What's the connection?
Well, it suggests this fascinating link between these infernal forces and the celestial spheres. It's as if they're woven into the fabric of the cosmos itself.
Right. So it's not just about good versus evil, you know, in some abstract sense, but
Right.
like a complex interplay of forces that are shaping reality.
Exactly, both light and dark.
Yeah, and this planetary association isn't just symbolic either.
No.
Like each klipoth
Right.
rules over legions of lesser spirits.
Really? Yeah, like
A demonic army
yeah.
organized under a planetary banner. But there is one exception that the book points out.
Oh, what's that?
Tagarim.
Kagarum.
And it's associated with the sun,
The sun.
and its power is said to be sevenfold that of the other klipoth.
Sevenfold.
Yeah,
Wow. Why is that?
I know it.
What makes it so special?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's not explicitly answered in the book.
That's frustrating.
I know.
But it's tantalizing.
It is.
You want to know more?
Right. It's like one of those little details that makes you want to,
Dig deeper.
yeah, dig deeper.
Explore further.
So listener,
Yeah.
what do you think?
What could it be?
Why would the book single out
Right.
this particular klipoth
Yeah.
for such exceptional power?
Hmm.
Okay, so we've got
Yeah.
these powerful demonic entities
Mhm.
organized by planet,
Okay.
ruling over all these legions of spirits.
Right.
But where do they actually reside?
That's where the infernal habitations come in.
The infernal habitation.
Yeah, the book lists 7 of them. Sheol, Abaddon, Titahian, all these evocative names.
Yeah, and they're like underworld realms, right?
Exactly. Shadow counterparts to the physical world.
And they're paired with 7 Earths.
7 Earths.
Yeah, almost like mirror images.
Interesting.
Aretz, Adama, Gia.
Hmm.
It paints a very evocative picture,
It does, yeah.
doesn't it?
Like these infernal realms existing alongside our own.
Right, like a dark undercurrent to reality.
Makes you wonder,
It really does.
if these places exist, what does that mean
Right.
for our understanding of the world?
Yeah, like what's going on beneath the surface of everyday life.
Definitely gives you a new perspective.
Yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
it doesn't stop there.
It doesn't.
No.
What else is there?
It also describes these evil and averse powers beneath the feet of the 4 cherubim.
Whoa!
Yeah.
beneath the cherubim.
Yeah, and this is where things start to get really vivid.
Oh, how so?
Because it gives us these really detailed descriptions of these entities. Like take Lilith, for example.
Lilith, okay.
It describes her as outwardly beautiful, but inwardly corrupt and putrefying.
Whoa.
And riding on this, like, strange and terrible beast.
So it's like this juxtaposition of beauty and horror.
Exactly.
It's suggesting evil can be disguised in alluring forms.
Right. It's a total nightmare.
Wow.
But there are others, too.
Like who?
Well, there's Makalot, described as this horrifying hybrid of a serpent and a woman.
Oh, that's creepy.
Right, and then there's Rahab.
Rahab, okay.
Described as this terrible demon that leaps upon an ox.
It's so detailed.
Right.
Like the author actually saw these things.
Yeah, maybe they did. Who knows?
That was wild.
And what's interesting is each of these powers is associated with a specific kingdom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Babel, Jonia, Media, Edom.
So there's a connection between these infernal forces and human history.
Exactly. It's like a commentary on the corrupting influence of power.
And ambition.
Right. Like saying these dark forces aren't just abstract, but they're active in the world.
Influencing us.
Yeah. Influencing human affairs, shaping civilizations.
It's a bit unnerving.
It is, yeah.
To think about that.
But it goes even further.
Does it?
Yeah. There are 12 additional categories of evil and averse powers.
Wow. And what are they like?
Oh, they get even weirder.
Give me an example.
Like, you've got the Baron,
okay,
which look like dragon lions.
The dragon lions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then there's the Celadimiron, described as these savage triangular-headed dogs.
Triangular-headed dogs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the Shekariron, which are a horrific blend of, like, reptile, insect, and shellfish. I know, it's crazy, right?
That sounds terrifying.
It's wild.
It's like pulling images from a nightmare.
Right, like the depths of the unconscious.
Yeah.
But there's a method to the madness. It's not just chaos.
Right.
It's a structured system of evil, like a shadow hierarchy that mirrors the divine order in Kabbalah.
That makes sense.
So that brings us to the evil and averse Sephiroth.
Right, the averse Sephiroth.
Yeah, which are like a dark mirror image of the 10 Sephiroth in the Tree of Life.
So, if the Sephiroth represent the divine attributes,
the averse Sephiroth
are distorted reflections. Like
Yeah.
each one's associated with a vice or a sin.
Right, for example, Kether, the crown of creation, right, in the Tree of Life,
Yeah.
becomes Carithiel,
Carithiel?
meaning cut off from God in this infernal system.
That's heavy.
I know.
So it's like a perversion of the divine.
Right, like twisting the sacred into something profane.
Yeah, and each one is ruled by...
Each averse Sephiroth
Yeah.
is ruled by a powerful demonic entity.
Like who...
Oh, you know, say Beelzebub, Lucifuge.
Right, so it's a whole pantheon.
It's a pantheon of darkness, yeah. A shadow hierarchy mirroring the angelic realm.
Okay, so just as the Sephiroth represent the building blocks of creation...
These represent.
These averse Sephiroth embody the forces of chaos and destruction.
Right, the potential for darkness and corruption within creation itself.
Wow.
Now, the book also mentions 11 evil palaces.
11 evil palaces.
Yeah, what are those all about?
Well, this is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
It connects these evil palaces to numerological occurrences in Scripture.
Okay.
Like the 11 letters in the phrase lieutenant governors.
Interesting.
It's almost like the author's trying to find these patterns.
Yeah.
Hidden connections between these forces and the fabric of reality.
So even in this like dark, distorted realm, there's a sense of order, a system at work.
It's like evil isn't just the absence of good.
Right.
It's its own complex, organized force.
Yeah.
With its own laws.
With its own
principles.
Chilling, right?
It is, yeah.
But also fascinating.
It is.
It really makes you think about the nature of evil in a different way.
Not just random.
Yeah.
Chaotic.
But structured, deliberate.
Right.
Insidious, maybe even.
Definitely makes you think.
And this idea of structure and organization is like further reinforced in the next section where it talks about the deacons of the 12 signs.
Deacons of the 12 signs.
That's a demonic zodiac.
Demonic zodiac.
Rare.
So it gets into this whole concept of archdevil.
Archdevils.
Ruling over the 12 signs.
Okay.
And they're organized under 4 infernal dignitaries.
Who are they?
Paimon, Amaimon, Ejim, and Urians.
Interesting names.
Yeah, right?
So each sign has its own
archdevil.
archdevil.
Yeah, and each decan,
Yeah.
or like 10-degree section of the sign,
Okay.
is associated with a specific demon.
Like a map of demonic influence.
Throughout the year.
Wow. That's a bit scary
It is.
to think about that there might be these
specific demonic influences.
Right, based on
the time of year.
Yeah, it's like saying these forces are always present.
Always there.
Yeah, working in the background, shaping our world.
Whether we know it or not.
Right, influencing our destiny.
It's a bit overwhelming.
It is a bit.
To think about.
Now, knowing all this, right, you might be wondering, why would anyone want to summon these entities?
I mean, it does seem dangerous.
It's like playing with fire, right?
Yeah.
But the book does provide instructions.
It does.
For summoning both archdemons and Klippoth.
Both of them.
Yeah.
So how do you do it?
Well, it really emphasizes timing and preparation.
Right.
This is not something you just try on a whim.
No, I imagine not.
Like summoning archdemons in particular requires a fourfold operation.
A fourfold operation.
Yeah. First you got to do prayer.
Okay.
Then you have to banish all the malignant spirits.
Right. Clear the space.
Then you have to invoke the archangels.
Call in the good guys. And then finally, you evoke the archdemon.
Wow, so it's a ritual within a ritual.
Yeah, and each step is crucial.
So they're not messing around.
No, and it even mentions that you need a blood sacrifice.
A blood sacrifice.
To make them visible.
Wow.
Which obviously raises a whole host of ethical and symbolic questions.
That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
We should definitely be mindful of that.
Absolutely.
When exploring these topics, right?
Yeah, there's a fine line between intellectual curiosity and actually engaging in practices that could be harmful.
Absolutely, to ourselves or others.
Right.
But while I'm not sure I'm ready to summon any archdemons, I am curious about the angelic conjuration.
The angelic conjuration.
It seems a lot safer.
Probably, yeah.
So what about that?
What does it say about that?
Well,
because it details the process of invoking archangels for protection and guidance, right?
All right. So you're calling on the good guys.
Exactly.
For help.
Yeah, and it gets really specific.
How so?
Like it tells you which psalms to recite.
Okay.
Passages from the Gospel of John, the book of Isaiah, all that.
So it's like a prayer
for
divine intervention.
Right. And if you're going to delve into the dark side, it makes sense to have some powerful allies.
You need backup.
Yeah, for sure.
So that brings us to the angelic hierarchy.
Right. Which is
just as elaborate as the demonic one we've been talking about.
Okay, I'm ready.
You ready for a crash course in angelology?
Hit me with it.
All right, let's go. Okay, so we've been through the Klippoth, that whole shadowy realm.
Right, a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, a lot.
But now we're going to like shift gears and focus on the forces of light.
The angelic hierarchy.
Exactly, the angels.
All right, bring on the angels.
So you mentioned hierarchy.
Right. Just like with the demons.
Where do we even begin with this angelic family tree?
Well, it starts with the familiar four.
Okay.
The archangels.
Right. Michael, Gabriel.
Uriel, Raphael.
The A-list.
Exactly. But it goes much deeper than that.
Deeper.
Oh, yeah. It's a whole tapestry of angelic orders and their roles in the cosmos.
Okay. So what's beyond the A-list?
Well, we have the 7 great princes.
7 great princes.
Who rule the heavens.
Okay.
We see some familiar names again, like Michael and Gabriel.
Right.
But there are also some lesser-known figures.
Like?
Shatakiel, Shahakiel. Each of these princes governs a specific heaven.
Okay.
Creating a hierarchy that mirrors the earthly one.
So it's like a cosmic government.
A divine power structure.
I'm trying to picture the angelic board meetings.
I know, right?
Then what?
Then we have the ministering angels of the throne of judgment.
Okay, what do they do?
They're basically celestial court officials.
Court officials?
They present cases for the Holy One.
So they're like angelic lawyers.
You could say that.
Arguing different sides?
Right. Influencing divine decrees.
That effect.
Exactly. Shaping the course of events on Earth.
Wow, so they have a lot of power.
They do. They represent different perspectives. Advocate for different outcomes.
And then there's Metatron?
Ah, Metatron.
I've heard that name.
He's a fascinating figure.
What's his deal?
He's the eldest servant of God.
Okay.
And the keeper of heavenly treasures.
The keeper of heavenly treasures? What does that even mean?
Well, he's often depicted as a scribe, recording divine deeds, decrees,
Like a cosmic secretary.
Kind of, yeah, but imagine a kid being so close to the source of creation that he's entrusted with documenting it all.
Okay, that's pretty major.
It is.
But there are more types of angels, right?
Oh, yeah. We're just getting started.
Okay, give me some more.
Ever heard of the Watchers?
The Watchers, wait.
Yeah.
Aren't those the ones who rebelled
Yes.
and fathered the Nephilim?
That's right.
That's a pretty infamous story.
It is a cautionary tale.
Right, even angels can fall from grace.
Exactly. It's all about choice.
Right, aligning with the divine.
Remember that.
So even in this perfect-sounding hierarchy, there's still room for darkness.
Nothing is absolute.
Right.
Even in the divine realm.
So what happened to the Watchers?
Well, the book also mentions the holy ones
Okay.
who were associated with the Watchers, but remain loyal to God.
So like a split.
Right. Some chose to follow their own desires.
And others
Stayed connected to the divine.
It's interesting, right?
It is.
Because it shows this internal struggle.
Within the angels themselves, not just angels versus demons.
But like choices.
Yeah, choices and complexities.
Even within these perfect beings.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then there's the term Merkabah.
Ah, the Merkabah.
Yeah, which is like...
The divine chariot?
Oh, right, from Ezekiel's vision.
Exactly, a vehicle for divine revelation.
Chariot of fire.
Propelled by celestial forces.
Carrying the presence of God.
It's a powerful image.
It is. It makes you wonder about those who claim to have had mystical experiences, you know?
Right, maybe they glimpsed the Merkabah.
And the book connects it to Hashmal.
Hashmal, the brilliant flame.
Right.
At the heart of the divine fire.
It's like this image of pure power.
Divine radiance.
So it's not just ranks and orders.
Right.
It's different aspects of the divine.
Different ways it manifests.
And each order has its own role.
In the cosmic drama.
Okay. So we've got the chariot, the flame. What else?
Well, we can't forget the seraphim.
Seraphim, right?
6-winged angels.
Siri?
But there's a twist.
A twist?
They're ruled by Seraphiel.
Okay.
Known for his speed and role as a scribe. But they're also associated with Satan, Samael, and Dabiel.
Wait, what? Yeah. Satan's hanging out with the seraphim.
It might seem strange.
It does.
But in some traditions, Satan isn't purely evil.
Okay.
He's an adversary who tests our faith.
Like a prosecutor.
Yeah, revealing our shortcomings.
So it's not just good versus evil.
It's more nuanced than that.
Complex.
Recognizing evil's role in the cosmic balance.
So even in the angelic realm.
There are complexities and contradictions.
Right, it makes you think.
About good and evil.
Within ourselves.
Are they separate?
Yeah.
Or more intertwined?
Right. Okay, so we've got the seraphim.
What else?
Who else is in this angelic lineup?
Well, you have the Ophanim.
That
associated with the moon.
Okay.
They have numerous faces and wings.
Wow.
Wheels within wheels. Constantly in motion.
Representing
the ceaseless activity of the divine.
Like the gears.
Keeping the cosmos turning.
Then there's the cherubim.
Cherubim.
Guarded the garden.
Often depicted with multiple wings.
And faces.
In this book.
Yeah.
They're associated with the winds.
The winds.
The very breath of life.
Wow. So they're like cosmic weathermen.
You could say that.
Controlling the flow of energy.
It's an important role.
Yeah, and we're still not done. Are we?
There's more.
More angels.
The book mentions the Hyoth. For faced four winged with crowns on their heads.
Crowns.
They assist those ministering angels.
Right, at the throne of judgment.
Exactly, so it's all connected.
Yeah, this angelic hierarchy.
It's a complex system.
And then there's a Galagala.
Associated with the sun.
Ruled by those 7 great princes.
Okay, and finally.
11 hosts of angels.
11.
Each with their own unique
names and attributes.
It's a lot to take in.
It is, but I think I'm getting the bigger picture.
What's that?
It's not just angels versus demons.
Right.
It's this complex web of forces.
Both light and dark.
Yeah, shaping our world.
And destinies.
And the angels.
Yeah.
They represent these divine forces.
Lighting us.
Protecting us.
Leading us towards the light.
But just as there are choices for the angels.
There are choices for us too.
That's a powerful reminder.
It is.
So what's the takeaway for the average person? You know, someone who's not an initiate.
Right, not a magic practitioner.
I think the message here is one of hope.
Hope.
And empowerment.
Okay.
This book, despite its focus on the dark side, ultimately offers hope. It reminds us that even in the face of challenges, the divine is always present, working to restore balance.
And it encourages us to cultivate courage.
Seek guidance
from the angels.
And trust in the triumph of light.
But it's not just about relying on external forces, right?
Exactly. Remember the alignment.
Right, aligning with the divine.
that starts within us.
So it's about looking within.
Just as the book explores
Yeah.
the depths of the Qliphoth,
And the angels.
it invites us to look at ourselves.
So it's not just demons and angels out there.
It's the forces within us.
And we choose.
We choose which to align with.
Which to overcome.
That's what makes this book so relevant.
Even centuries later.
It's a guide
Yeah.
to navigating existence.
Internally and externally. Well, we've covered a lot.
We have.
Qliphoth, angels.
Yeah.
Now there's one last piece.
What's that?
Talismans.
Ah, yes, the talismans.
This is where theory meets practice.
We've talked about these spiritual forces.
Right.
Now we look at how to interact with them.
Okay, so let's jump into that.
Right.
In part 3 of our deep dive.
Into the Book of the Black Serpent.
Okay, so we're back.
Back again.
For the final part of our journey.
Through the Book of the Black Serpent.
And we've been through a lot, right?
We have, yeah.
Explored the Qliphoth.
The shadow side.
The angels.
The forces of light.
And now we're getting practical.
Right, practical magic.
We're talking talismans.
Talismans, those objects.
Yeah.
Designed to channel spiritual forces.
Okay, but what are they exactly?
Think of them as like physical representations of spiritual forces.
Okay.
They're conduits, right? Channeling energy.
For a specific purpose.
Exactly. So you're taking an abstract concept like protection, healing, anything really, and you give it a form.
Right, something you can work with.
Yeah, a tangible form.
So how do you make one?
Well, this is interesting.
What?
The book doesn't really give specifics.
No instructions.
It says the details are revealed by God's angels.
At the altar.
In the temple.
So it's like a divine DIY project?
Kinda.
But you don't just make the object.
No, you have to consecrate it.
Consecrate it, right. So how does that work?
You dedicate it to its purpose.
Right.
Imbue it with the energy.
Okay. Any rituals, specific words?
Again, it's a bit vague, but it's clear that the consecration has to be done by God's angels.
So you're asking the angels to bless it.
For sure.
Like getting divine approval.
Exactly. You don't mess with these forces without some serious backup.
But why all the emphasis on angels?
Well, it goes back to that idea of alignment.
Right, with the divine.
Yeah, remember.
So talismans are not about...
It's not about manipulation.
Right. Not about controlling.
It's about harmony.
Working with the forces of light.
Yeah, seeking guidance, protection.
From the angels.
Exactly. So it's cooperation, not domination.
Not trying to control, but align.
And channel for good.
I like that.
It's a good message.
Yeah, and I think it applies beyond the book.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. In life, we're not meant to be alone.
We need connection.
Guidance, support.
From something greater.
It's about humility, isn't it?
It is, even with powerful tools.
Don't forget the source of the power.
Exactly.
So we've reached the end.
The end of our journey.
Through the Book of the Black Serpent.
A fascinating book.
It is.
Full of mysteries.
What are your takeaways?
I'm struck by the complexity.
Yeah, the depth.
It's not simple good versus evil.
Right, it's nuanced.
A cosmic dance.
Of light and shadow.
Qliphoth, angels, talisman.
All connected.
But ultimately,
a
message of hope.
Despite the darkness.
The divine is always present.
Restoring balance.
And we have a role to play.
Not just bystanders.
We choose.
Which forces to align with.
Which to overcome.
Cultivate courage.
Seek guidance.
Work towards good.
And so, we leave you with a final thought.
If the Qliphoth are the shadow, what shadows are within us?
How can we, like the talismans,
seek consecration,
purification,
to transform those shadows
into strength, wisdom?
That's a question to ponder.
Keep exploring
the hidden truth.
Until next time.
May your journey be filled with light.